I'm David Hepworth. Thanks for clicking this Word in Your Ear podcast, videocast thing for which there is no name. Mark Ellen and I have been creating in this line since 2007. And if any of it has met with your approval, then please click to subscribe because it helps. Leave a comment because we like to hear from you, and maybe even consider becoming a Patreon supporter because then, well, you'll be one of us. Visit patreon.com/wordinyourear for details.
This is Word Down Your Way, in which those about to tour salute you.
Welcome to another of our podcasts with those about to tour, which she's been doing since the age of 14. It is the tremendous Suzi Quatro. Susie, how very nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
And you're in Essex at the moment, right?
I am. I've lived in the Essex area since 1975. My first husband, who was my guitar player, his parents lived in Essex, near Romford. So when we bought our first house, we moved near one of the sets of parents. And I just ended up staying in the area, yeah.
Right. So can you remember your first impressions of Britain? So 1971 is when you first came.
My first honest impression was how small everything was. Right. I noticed that right away. I noticed the cars, small streets, small servings on the plates for your food, small little milk bottles. Everything seems small to me, but then in America, everything's huge. I noticed the strange sense of humor right away, which I love now.
How do you define strange? You mean the irony?
Yeah, you've got your own sense of humor. You've got what I call island humor. You're a law unto yourselves.
Okay.
But I love your sense of humor, but you just have to get used to it.
Right. So you regard yourself as American? Presumably.
Oh, 100%. I'm the girl from Detroit City. I always will be. You cannot take the Detroit out of the girl.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that's a good point to talk about. Can you remember the first show you ever went to of any kind, musical or theatrical or anything?
Well, I come from a musical family. My father was a musician all his life, so I guess my first shows would have been his gigs.
Right. And what did he play?
He played various things. He played accordion. He played all the keyboards. He was a child prodigy on violin. And he raised all his 5 kids in the same way we all play. We read and write and play several instruments each. Everybody does. All 5 kids. So I can't even really brag about it because it's what we did,
So was it like a family band? Was it?
No, not a family band, but we all were in music. I started on bongo drums, and then I went to, and my dad used to take me along. I could play with him.
Right.
And then I went to classical piano. So I read and write and play classical piano. And then I went to percussion, and I was in the school orchestra. So I read and write percussion and play. And then at 14, when we started the band, I was given the bass because nobody wanted the bass. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me because, as you know, I am a real bass player.
So did it take you a long time to master the bass? Did you take to it quickly?
I took to it like a duck to water.
Right.
I didn't, and I was given and I love telling this story because I see other musicians want to hit me when I tell them this. I went to my dad at 14. I said, Dad, me and Patty, one of his other daughters, were forming an all-girl band. Great, because he's a musician. He didn't say it was unusual. And I said, I'm playing bass guitar. Do you have one? He said, sure. So he went and gave me, for my first bass to learn on and play, and I still have it, 1957 Fender Precision, the Rolls Royce of basses. I did not know that there was a choice of basses because I'd never played bass before. So I didn't know that he was giving me a big bass. I had no idea. I didn't know there were smaller, lighter ones, so that's what I learned on. It made me a very good bass player because it's the hardest one to master.
Right. Just a tangent for a second. Was there anybody you saw on stage that made you think, this is what I want to do, that I want to be up there?
Oh, God, I had so many litmus moments.
Do you remember the first groups you saw?
Yeah, I remember the first time that this thought occurred to me was watching the Ed Sullivan show. Because it was like a religion in America. Everybody sat down on a Sunday with their family and they watched at 8 p.m. the Ed Sullivan show. It was a variety show. And at the end of the show, he always brought out a something for the youngsters, he used to call it.
Yeah.
And this particular night, I was 5.5. We're all watching, and out comes Elvis, and he does "Don't Be Cruel," and my elder sister by 9 years started to scream, and I'm only 5.5, and I'm looking at her going, "What's the matter with you? Why are you screaming?" Then I went into the TV, and I was hypnotized, and I remember, and I'm not making this up. This is exactly what happened. I looked at the screen, and the thought ran through my head, "I'm going to do that."
What specifically, apart from probably wearing leather clothes, was it that you wanted to do?
Yeah, he wasn't wearing
Whatever he was
would have been then, actually.
No, whatever he was doing,
Yeah,
that's what I was going to do.
Right.
It hit me like it's just like I can't even understand why I thought that at that age. But then we formed a band, and then when I was 18, I watched the comeback special.
Yeah.
I've been in band since 14. Saw the comeback special, and at that point, I said, "I'm going to wear leather." So Elvis has kind of been on my shoulder,
Right.
my entire career. Yeah, and the first gig that we did, I was 14, and the local dance hall guy put us on at the Hideout Club, and I remember looking down at the crowd. My first ever gig, 3 songs we knew, same 3 chords. I looked down at the crowd, and again, the thought ran through my head, "I'm home."
Right. What were the 3 songs? Can you remember?
Latin Lupe Lou,
Right.
Twist and Shout, and Long Tall Texan.
Right. Perfect. And what was the name of the group?
That group lasted from 64 till 1969, called the Pleasure Seekers.
Oh, yeah.
All-girl band.
With
and
2
then
of your sisters, wasn't it?
Yeah, all of us together, all 4. And then it became Cradle then. So it went from the Pleasure Seekers, which was a long-running band, and we worked all the time, to Cradle, which only lasted about 18 months. Then Mickie Most came and saw the band, and he wanted only me. And he offered me a solo contract, and off I went. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Right.
Dave and I are obsessed with this moment, which is usually in 1969, when groups who had a certain name changed their names, like Simon Dupree and the Big Sound suddenly became Gentle Giant, and they just suddenly kind of shift to a different sound, which is what happened with the Pleasure Seekers and Cradle, was it? Because you're a heavy rock band, weren't you?
We were, and the Pleasure Seekers was a show band.
Yeah.
Very much a show band, where we did like Temptation routines and dance steps and all that. And we had like a Sgt Pepper set and a cover set.
Oh, really?
A real show band. I really learned my craft in that band.
Yeah.
Then we played a festival that my brother put on. And we were stuck in the club scene. So we weren't prepared for this festival where it was all hippies. Barefoot and tie-dye T-shirts.
Yeah.
And for the first time, we didn't go down well.
Right.
Because we were a club band. And then we decided to change the band completely, bring my little sister in, and go heavy and start to write our own songs. So I took a backward step from being the entire front person for many years. I stepped a little bit back, became more just a bass player, and my little sister came in. And even though I only sang a few songs per night, you couldn't hide my light, because that's the band Mickey saw with me standing a little bit back, and he picked me out. And he said, "You're the star."
So when you came up with that,
where did he see you? Where were you playing when he saw you?
In Detroit. He came to Detroit to record Jeff Beck at Motown Studios. So
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Jeff Beck was there, and so was Cozy Powell. Mickie Most in the audience. They watched the show. I did 2 songs only that I sang, and Mickey went, "That's the one." Jeff Beck said, "Bass player." And Jeff told me this. And Mickey said, "I got it already."
That's amazing.
great.
It's
So
like people being spotted in football teams, isn't it? Centre forward's good. Sound interesting.
Well, if I'm very honest about it, and I've talked to other people in the same position as me, if you've got that X factor, that charisma button, you know it.
Right. So you were confident about that, were you?
I knew that I had something that whenever I went on stage, even in the family shows, the room would stop.
Right.
And even in the first band in the Pleasure Seekers, all those years I was in there, we were setting up the equipment one night because we didn't have roadies. One of my sister's husbands, her first husband, she had 7. He was setting up the equipment, but he managed the band. And he actually said, I was only about 16, he said to the girls as we were setting up the equipment, he said, "You guys do realize that most of the lights have to go on Susie." Now, I didn't say this.
And
He
did that
said
cause any friction?
No, but it's just something that I was aware of, that I could hold an audience.
Right.
That's the best way to say it. I felt it. So I wasn't surprised when Mickie came and saw the band and only wanted me. That I was waiting for that my whole life.
But did he have an idea of what he wanted to mould you into, or did he want to leave you broadly as you were?
He saw a rock and roller. He always said to me nonstop, actually, whenever we would talk, you were unique. You are unique. You were unique. You are unique. I've never seen anybody quite like you.
Right. So how did you feel when he said, and I'm going to take you to England rather than New York or LA?
Well, I had a choice. And this is why I knew it was my time to go, because this all happened within 1 week. So I'm at the back, my little sister's singing lead. I do 2 or 3 songs lead, maybe. I did 2. And Elektra Records came to see Cradle. And the president of Elektra,
Jack Holtzman.
Yes, he offered me a solo contract. Then the same week, Mickie Most came.
That's an extraordinary choice. That is.
And he offered me a solo contract. Now, I had a choice to make. Jack Holtzman said, I'd like to take you to New York, put a male band around you, and turn you into the next Janis Joplin. Mickie Most said to me, I'd like to take you to England, put a male band around you, and make you into the first Suzi Quatro.
Right.
Oh. What a smooth talker.
No, it means he saw me.
Yeah, sure.
He didn't see me as the second anybody.
No.
Yeah.
That's the important part. He saw me as the first me, so that's where I went. Absolutely made the right decision.
But so you went off with a spring in your stride. You thought you were quite excited about it. You weren't.
I was excited. No, not at all. But I was aware that I could fail, sure. But me being me, I'm determined with a capital D. So I made a vow to myself. I said, I don't go back to Detroit without hits under my belt. And I didn't.
Right.
I didn't. It was very lonely because I had no money and no friends. And I lived in a crappy little hotel room. And all I did every day was walk to the tube with my bass guitar and record and write songs at rack. And
Where were you living? Tell us where were you staying?
First, I stayed in Cromwell Road in a hotel with a bed about as big as a piece of bacon. That was a strange analogy. And I didn't even have a toilet in the room. We just had a broken mirror and a sink and a little bed. I was very lonely. And I came from very nice surroundings in Detroit.
Yeah.
Then I moved to Cromwell Road Hotel, which is a little bit nicer. I finally formed the band. I said to Mickie, he wasn't getting anywhere. Mickey's never been able to record me. He would have been the first one to say so. He knew what I was. Wasn't. He doesn't know what I was. He never got the edge of me. And I said, I need a band. I'm going crazy. I've been in bands my whole life. So I formed a band. And we went on the road with Slade. Their first international tour was me. I opened the show, then Thin Lizzy, then Slade. I didn't have any hits yet. And by the time that tour was over, we had a sound. We were doing all my own songs that I'd been writing. So it formed the band, and then Mickie got Mike Chapman, Nicky Chin involved.
Right, of course it was Chapman.
Because Mickie was honest enough to say, in fact, it was his wife who said, why don't you get Mike Chapman to produce Susie? And what, you mean?
They liked the sound, but they just didn't feel they were quite commercial enough. Was that what it was?
No, Mickie said, I've got these 2 new writers, and your band is together, and you sound great. You've got a sound, but they're good at the 3-minute single.
Yeah.
So could they come see you and maybe produce this magic single? So they came and saw a show. It was all my songs were boogie based. The whole first album was mainly my own songs, but they did that commercial can thing. And it was all of us that put that together. I mean, the drummer came up with that signature, ba-dum-da-dum-da-dum. Lenny put in his guitar thing. I came up with all that bass stuff. So we made that single happen. The band created that single out of Mike's demo.
But also, where did you record?
Too. Where did you record?
At that one was done at Morgan Studios. We used Morgan.
Wilston.
Yeah, right? we used that Morgan, and then we went. Oh gosh, I can't even remember the Audio International. That was near Baker Street.
Yeah.
That's where we did most of our recordings at.
What was it like being on the road with Slade and Thin Lizzy?
It was great. We all became good friends. I'm still friends with Noddy now, and I did an album with Don Powell recently and Andy Scott. Yeah, we all hung out together. It was nice, and I fell in love with my guitar player on that tour. So
Right.
I was protected.
So we're Slade were happening at the time, were they?
Oh yeah, that was their first international tour. So that would have been 1972, the end of 1972. We toured the whole of the UK, and then Mike Chapman and Nicky Ching came in. They roll can the can, and by May '73, I had my first number one.
It must have been thrilling because a lot of the stuff that was going on in Britain at the time was very kind of self-interested and serious, and it's all about musicianship. And you were just absolutely having a hoot, weren't you? All those bands. I mean,
Well, it is about musicianship. I mean, we made some great records, but we weren't contemplating our navel.
No.
that's it.
Yeah.
So you did presumably you're regular on Supersonic and all those kind of.
Oh yeah, I think I lived atop of the Pops.
Right. Yes. What was the strangest gig you did in those days? You must have, were you buzzing around Europe and turning
Everywhere.
Up yeah.
Everywhere. We were just since I began in this business, I've worked nonstop. We first did the college circuit.
All right.
Then we did the tour, and then we made the record. And then after that, the gigs just, then they're flying. I toured Europe all the time. I'm about to do my 41st tour of Australia in October. 41st.
41st.
Yeah, it's crazy.
41st tour of Australia.
It's nuts. I can't believe it. How many air miles have I done? We started the tour back in my home country in 1974. And the first gig we did was in Detroit. And I was supported by Blue Oyster Cult and Kiss.
Oh, yeah. Whatever happened to them?
They supported you.
They supported me, yeah.
Terrific.
So presumably at that time, the notion that you might be just about to, later this year, about to tour Australia for the 41st time and touring in Europe.
Right now, I go tomorrow. I start tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to say it didn't occur to you, presumably, at any stage in the 70s that you might still be doing this. I
never thought I wouldn't still be doing this.
Oh, really?
I got in this for a lifetime.
Okay. And you thought that early on?
Early on. In fact, I was maybe 16. I'd been touring for 2 years already. And we came home from one of the gigs. And my father pulled me aside, not the other girls, pulled me aside. And he said, he's a musician. He said, I want to talk to you. I said, okay. And he said, tell me if I'm right or wrong, but it looks to me like you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. And I said, I am dead. I found what I want to do. And he said, okay, two bits of advice for you.
Go on.
He said, first of all, this is your profession. This is your job. Right. Second, if there's 10 people or 10,000 in that audience, every single one of them has paid to see you, and you owe them. I took it like the Bible, and I've been like that ever since. Right. I never coast a show. Right. And I can't do it. It goes against every bone in my body. So yes, I knew I was in it for a lifetime. Absolutely. No question about it.
Right.
What an advantage having a father who's a musician, who has been on stage himself, would know the value of that.
Oh, absolutely. I took everything he said seriously. Oh yeah, absolutely. He taught me to be a pro.
All right. So when you're touring now and you're about to start, you're touring all the time, aren't you?
I am.
What's your show? What is it?
Well, if I'm doing festivals, it's a little bit shorter because there's lots of bands on. I usually only headline. But when I'm doing my own show, which in April, that's a big tour coming up with AEG, 10 big shows in the UK. Which I'm sure you probably have them there.
Right, yeah, we can list those.
Okay, you have the list. That's my favorite kind of show. I do my 2-hour solo show with an interval with screens, so I can take you on my whole journey. You go through my life musically.
Oh, okay, so you got photographs. It's a slideshow.
Yeah, great.
Well, yeah, I do everything. It's my way of doing all your hits and everything that you want to hear, but it's an entertaining rock show.
So you're telling stories about your family and things.
Yeah, I do a bit. I do a section where I talk and show some slides and talk about it. Yeah, it's a real entertaining show. I absolutely love doing it. You get everything you want to hear and more.
Right. So what instrument are you playing then?
I play bass most of the time, but I do a song on piano, and I do go to the drums and play something with the drummer.
Right. So what stories? I mean, I'm not asking you to give away stories, but presumably you take people back to particular periods, and do you do things like happy days and so forth?
Oh, sure. I walk you through my life.
Right.
There's a section where I do talking, and there different pictures go up on different screens and different video clips, and it's about an 8-minute section, and I talk you through my life. So I bring you in. You go. You know, we take a journey together, the audience and me, and it's so nice. Yeah.
Do you ever think how extraordinary it is that, you know, I was thinking about Happy Days the other day, that Ron Howard and Henry Winkler still around and doing really well?
Well, the best thing is I'm really good friends with them, and we email all the time. Yeah, Ronnie. And as soon as I email Ronnie, he's giving me quotes for my book. So is Henry.
Right.
I'm friends with Donnie Most still. I'm friends with Anson Williams still. Some good friendships were formed on that show.
And that's a long old time ago.
That was a while ago.
I know.
Leather Luscadero.
Yeah, Toscadero.
Leather Tuscadero, yeah.
Oh, Tuscadero. Sorry, Leather Tuscadero. What am I talking about? Yeah.
Absolutely. So what's your next gig? Have you got one this week?
Yeah, sure. I got 5 coming up. I leave tomorrow. I got 2 in Germany, 3 in Germany, 2 in Germany, and then there's 1 in Finland, 1 in Oslo. I can't even remember.
Right. So if you're one of your children or grandchildren possibly,
yes,
we're thinking about being a musician, what advice would you give them to go with what your father told you?
I am working with my son since 2019. We've released 2 albums together. He plays guitar and writes, and we're just working on my 3rd album together. And he produced and played guitar on the Face to Face album with KT Tunstall, and he produced my 6-track EP Uncovered. So I'm working with him very, 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 very heavily. I would give the same advice to anybody.
Right.
Same as my dad said to me: be professional. First rule number 1 is to be honest with yourself. Are you talented? Mm-hmm. Don't bullshit yourself. Don't bullshit. You know, you should know it. And if you're going to play an instrument, play it. Really play it. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Is there still choreography in it? Is there still the old Can Devilgate Drive?
I do. Yeah, I got 2 girl backing singers, and they come up to the front, and we do a little bit of the choreography. That's so much fun, that isn't it?
Terrific.
Right. Oh well, it's been lovely to talk to you.
And you.
And all the best. All the best with it. And what are we saying? The tour next year. You're talking about
April next year.
UK next year, but you're basically world tour pretty much all the time.
All the time, but we're looking forward to the next year's one in April. There's some big shows in there. I think the London Palladium is on the.
Right.
Yeah. I can't find it quickly.
Have you done the London Palladium before? You must.
It's my 4th time.
Right.
My 4th time. Here we are, from the 7th to the 20th of April. Right. Glasgow, Gateshead, Manchester, Watford, Oxford, Southend, London Palladium, Bath, Birmingham, Bournemouth. Yeah, in fact, this is the 4th time I played there. And the first time I played there, they got me on This Is Your Life.
Oh, right.
At the end of my show.
So who was presenting This Is Your Life in those
Michael
days?
Aspel.
Right.
Wow.
And he walked out. I nearly died. You really don't have any idea. And it really throws you.
Well, it's no doubt on YouTube if anybody wants to find it.
Sure, it is.
Everything's on YouTube.
Okay.
Suzi Quatro, it's been delightful to talk to you.